Hi, I'm Catherine Matthijs-Sundell from Civility Partners, and I thought I'd take a couple minutes to explain my coaching process to you. I am in the business of coaching abrasive leaders specifically, or what some might call workplace bullies, and I am certified in the boss whispering method that was created by Dr. Laura Crawshaw, and Dr. Crawshaw has been coaching abrasive leaders for about 30 years. She's coached almost 500 of them in a huge array of industries from Fortune 500s on down to small businesses. And so I've been fortunate enough to be trained in this very specific methodology that really does seem to work. So wanted to share the process with you. So the way coaching works is I would first meet with the individual and just get to know them a little bit. And then at the end of that conversation, I ask them to provide me with the list of 8 to 10 names of people that I might interview. And this whole thing is around, I want to understand the perceptions of you. I can coach you better if I understand why you've been hooked up with me and why your leaders felt like you needed some coaching. So I get those names from the individual and interview these 8 to 10 people. I also ask my contact at the organization, which is usually HR, to provide me with additional names, anybody else that's not already on this list that I could also interview. So I usually end up interviewing around 15 or 16 people, 8 to 10 of which the abrasive leader knows about, and then a few others that the abrasive leader does not know about. And from there, after the interviews, I take all of my notes and I put the notes into themes, and I remove any identifying information. And so although the leader knows mostly who I interviewed, they won't know who said what. So we take all of that information, put it all into themes. I usually end up with about a 15-page document that is the words of this person's peers, managers, and colleagues. And I sit down with the person I'm coaching, with this abrasive leader, and go over that feedback with them. Now, what I find in this meeting is often the person is, of course, defensive. No one wants to sit down and hear a list of 15 pages of all the things that you're doing wrong. But it's really eye-opening for this person. Often people who engage in workplace bullying or these abrasive leaders are well aware that they're seen as sort of hard or difficult to work with, but they're really not aware of the full extent of the damage that they're causing. And now here they can see it in their colleagues' own words, the damage that they're causing. And so this process really causes them to rethink. And this is where I get the intrinsic motivation to engage in coaching. So once they've seen all this feedback, often they are really ready to dive in head first and really want to make a change. From there, I work with the individual for about 3 or 4 months, engaging in coaching. And really, coaching is focused on understanding why these are the perceptions of the abrasive leader and what strategies can we implement to adjust perceptions. So the coaching is all about getting different perceptions so that you can get better results and ultimately be more effective. After about 3 to 4 months of coaching, I re-interview all of the people that I interviewed the first time around and come to learn how coaching's been doing and if we've been able to make improvements. And often in those conversations, they're actually really fun for me to have. People say things like, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I don't know what you've been doing with this person, but my life is so much better. They're not yelling anymore. I'm not intimidated anymore." So I hear a lot of thank yous in those second round of interviews. And I usually find that for the most part, the leader has been able to make strides in their behavior, but they still have a little ways to go. So there'll still be a few remaining themes of things that we need to continue to work on. And so I'll work with the abrasive leader for maybe another month or so to address those final things. And from there, the coaching often comes to a close, and the leader has really been able to dive into change. Now, ultimately, people who engage in workplace bullying behaviors or abrasive leaders do so because they want to ensure that they are seen as totally competent, and anything that disrupts or thwarts that competence is what sort of causes them to lash out. So what's happening is they believe that their behavior helps them appear as competent, But when they get that feedback the first time around and realize that people actually think they are very incompetent at relationships, they are really inspired to change because they want to be seen as competent. So that's what ultimately drives them. And of course, they're not psychopaths. They do ultimately want to have good relationships and want to have empathy. And so we just have to kind of realign the way that they're behaving and communicating. So that's the coaching process. If you have any questions, shoot me an email at Catherine@civilitypartners.com or check me out at civilitypartners.com. And I look forward to chatting with you.